It's official. Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from Keith Urban. A lot more details are now coming in. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. I've been live with It's Kim. We've been talking about this sad story, Kim. It is a sad story. I like these two. Yeah. 19 years, 2 kids together. This seemingly all just came out of nowhere. And what's the most interesting update as we're going is not only the fact that this morning, since our last video, did Nicole officially make this real and filed, but TMZ has gotten a lot of details. And surprisingly, a lot of it has already been sorted out. But that begs a big question that Kim and I have figured out as we've gone through all the details that have been pouring in. I do sense something is rotten in the state of Nashville and Australia here, because she pulled the trigger to end the marriage. TMZ learned she just filed for divorce. Nicole and Keith separated in June, and we're told she wanted to save the marriage, although by all accounts, Keith did not. This screams of a Nicole Kidman, Team Nicole, trying to make these comments, to be fair. We also reported Keith and Nicole's inner circle believe he has moved on with another woman. What? Already? Yes, those reports are coming in that he is already with a new woman. Is that too fast? June to September? Kinda. At the same time, is the relationship over? Well, then not really getting my business, but some will say it is too close. Whatever the reason, Nicole has clearly had a change of heart and filed to end the marriage. The couple married back in 2006. They have 2 kids who are now ages 17 and 14. Now, other updates came in as this was happening. There is a divorce doc, marital dissolution agreement signed by both Nicole and Keith. The agreement includes a parenting plan and a child support worksheet. It also includes a parenting seminar order. Translation, Nick and Keith have already worked out custody agreements, custody support, child support, and it appears they have agreed to take co-parenting classes. That's interesting because it seems they have spent time hammering out all the divorce details. Nevertheless, our sources say Nicole made an abrupt decision to file today. The document was signed by 2 notaries, one for Keith dated August 29th, and the other for Nicole dated September 6th. But again, that was weeks ago. The notaries were signed, and I guess they had it, but it's been filed now by Nicole, almost as if she had it. She's been holding it, and she's been waiting to see if she was going to file it. And seemingly, according to TMZ, she decided, I guess, recently, last night or this week, to do it. Nicole cited irreconcilable differences. I did it. As the reason for the divorce. She wants to remain the primary residential parent of the minor child. Both Nicole and Keith waived any spousal support and child support. That's a big adjustment there. There is, however, a clause which states Keith has prepaid child support obligations, and they each will retain their own assets, which suggests there is a prenup. So this is incredibly telling. We'll come back. Let me just finish up. The parenting plan also says the kids will spend 306 days with Nicole and 59 days with Keith. Wow. They agreed that all major decisions involving the kids, including education and healthcare, will be made jointly. But she got a lot more time. What is the math on that, Kim? 59 and a 30 on a 6. Can somebody help me do that quick?
I can do that. Give me 1 second.
Okay, I was going to use AI, but I couldn't turn it on fast enough. Oh wait, I have it here. Here it is. Let's ask Ultron.
Oh, our
guest Ultron's here. Hey Ultron,
always.
What percentage is 59 days out of 306 days?
Hey there. All right, let's do that calculation real quick. If you take 59 days out of 306 days and turn that into a percentage, you divide 59 by 306 and then multiply by 100. That comes out to about 19.28%. So roughly 19.3%.
Okay, God, I didn't ask for her whole life story. I just told you to tell me the math. Why did AI have to talk so much? So 19%. So that's so she has. Now I got to do the other math. 81%.
No,
she has 81%.
If there's 365 days in a year and 59 of those days are with Keith, that means that he gets 16% of the year with the kids.
And then she gets 84.
Yes.
There, thank you. ChatGPT sucks.
I'm sure
Kim was way faster.
I'm sure my sister will correct me if I am wrong, or I will get absolutely roasted in the comments. But
that is very telling, though, because that's a lot. 85% is not 50-50 at all. And the fact that Keith has now already prepaid the child support, and they've agreed that there's no spousal support, because there were a lot of reports out there, gang, which we were about to debunk already, but that there was a Coca-Cola clause in the prenup that would see him walking away with millions unless he was caught using. But these reports are clearly all kibosh now because apparently they've already signed, or we don't know what that agreement was, to be fair. Maybe there was some sort of payment or something, but it sounds like there won't be any dispute about that. But Christopher Melcher also verified if they were married in California, which I think they are, that wouldn't have held up in court. It's a no-fault state, and that wouldn't have held up. But anyway, the long story short of it, the most telling thing is here that they got it all sorted. So last night when this leaked, they've been clearly working at this for at least a month, weeks, whatever, August 29th, at least a month. This was signed, meaning they were working on it before the month, right? So they must have been doing this through July and August, if not June, when they allegedly broke up. The fact that all this was done, Kim, the fact that they have support, some payment, that spousal support, all of it figured out, but they didn't make a joint statement. Yeah. Kim, that's pretty shocking. And as we're looking at all these headlines coming in today, as more and more reporting, a lot from people, Nicole Kidman has been fighting to save her marriage to Keith before separation. She didn't want this. And again, who knows if that's true or not, but all the press I'm seeing, there's no sources of Keith saying otherwise. And judging by the time, she's getting the kids, she's not paying him, it seems. This seems like something went down. This seems like Nicole's either out there trying to save face and getting ahead of the story, which could be part of it through the PR. But as you speculated, Kim, and I'm going to go to you, your thoughts, this also feels like this could have been something Keith did wrong, whether it was the other woman who came in too fast, whether he's using again, who knows? People are going to suspect that. He's been sober for many years. I hope that's not the case.
Not accusing it, but that is
but
a rumor
clearly
that is going around. That's
something could have spurred this, where she seemingly, instead of trying to fight it or keep stretching it, finally decided, you know what, this is over. What do you think? Based on what we're seeing from the comments, the lack of a statement, the fact that everything else was already sorted, and now she's coming out pretty hard with source statements to protect herself, who do you think is potentially in the wrong here?
You know what? I don't know exactly who would be in the wrong. I feel like this is a breakup, and I am a strong believer that a lot of the time in breakups that no one is 100% responsible. There are cases where that happens, but I'm just saying it's a human thing, right? When people break up, things get complicated. But what is so striking to me is that they've gone through all of this to have the child support, the spousal support taken care of, the arrangement, the custody arrangement, etc. This has all been done in August, you said, and there is no joint statement. I feel like this was already being planned, and now it almost feels like it's gone off the rails. Because as I'm looking at this reporting, to be clear, it's almost like a trickle. All I'm seeing is every hour or so, there's another story, there's another source, there's another this, there's another that. And yes, some of that is the media, because of course we're fascinated. Some people are fascinated with famous people and famous relationships and breakups, etc. We've had many breakups that absolutely dominate the pop culture news stories. I think about Bennifer, I think about Brangelina, right? So of course there's going to be that type of speculation, but there's so much coming out. I'm wondering how much of it is coming from essentially inside the house. And that's speculation. That's my opinion. And I can't back that up. I'm just saying that when I've watched enough of these stories, that's what it starts to look like. Now, it could look like it, but that's not what's going on. It could just be people around them talking, because the press has connections and they're talking to people, and people are spilling, or people are lying and they're making things up. Heaven knows. But as we're seeing, people right there, that we're seeing Nicole Kidman feels very betrayed in the breakup. We seem to be seeing a lot more about how Nicole is doing as opposed to how Keith is doing, which makes me wonder, are we going to be seeing an onslaught of news about how Keith is doing in the coming days? He does have a show coming up, I believe, on October 2nd. So he will be in front of a microphone, in front of an audience, and heaven knows what he may say. He may say nothing. But I think a lot of people have a lot of questions, because they've been together for so long and they've been so visibly affectionate towards each other. Nicole's been through a lot with him, stood beside him through his sobriety journey. It feels very strange to see them not be together and have it go down this way.
Yeah, and
I'm nervous that this is going to get ugly.
It could, and it was sad. Also, I just want to make sure we added, they have a very, very long history, but beyond that, here I want to play this quick clip.
4 months into our marriage, my addictions that I'd done really nothing about blew our marriage to smithereens, and I went into the Betty Ford Center for 3 months. 4 months into a marriage, I'm in rehab for 3 months with no idea what was going to happen to us. And if you want to see what love in action really looks like, give that a whirl. Nick pushed through every negative voice, I'm sure even some of her own, and she chose love. And here we are tonight, 18 years later.
That's just sad, man. And they talk about this. She really pushed for his sobriety, which he's kept, and I hope stays through this.
Yes.
But when you know that she's been through all that, right? It just, I don't know, there's the fact that they're now walking away makes it really scary. Now, one other thing I will add, a lot of people are talking about this phone call. We were joking about this in the beginning, but Nicole Kidman was doing a lot of sexy movies, Kim, like a lot of them. And I know it's acting, everything else, but Baby Girl in specific, if you've seen it, you know, it was a lot. Like, I don't know how comfortable I would have been if that was my partner in those movies. And it's just wild. The whole premise is her with this younger dude who's her intern, and they do a lot in that movie. She doesn't leave a lot to her imagination, but it's not even just her. She's like cheating on Antonio Banderas at home with this intern guy and like licking milk out of a bowl and fingers going in, and she's it's like, Kim, it's intense. It's intense. So yeah, people are pointing that out too. Like, she's been doing a lot of what they're calling cougar movies. And was it too much? And now this radio station appearance keeps being brought up, and I can't help but think this might have had something to do with it as well. Like, here, listen.
Beautiful wife, Nicole Kidman, being on so many great movies, TV shows all the time. I watched a movie with her and Zac Efron recently, Family Affair, and I thought,
that's a good one.
What does Keith Urban think when he sees his beautiful wife with beautiful younger men like Zac Efron having these beautiful love scenes on TV and radio? Oh, why has that happened? What's just happened to you?
He's disconnected from Zoom.
Did he just hang up on us?
I think his team hung up on us because they didn't want us to ask that question.
Really?
Yeah.
That's 100%.
Were we told not to ask that?
No. He's gone.
Happened?
So look, it was questionable whether they should have asked that question. I don't think he exploded. He just dipped out, or his team hung up on it because it was an appropriate question. It also is a radio show where, like, you should be prepared, Keith, for those types of questions when you're going on the radio, and you could have had some softball answer or no comment or laughed it off. By leaving, you made it a bigger story. And honestly, now, because he seemingly was so upset and made it a bigger story, now it's coming back up. But like, were all those films, potentially part of it? The real reason apparently is he was feeling a lack of intimacy, and it was the schedules, but also a coldness between them. And so, I don't know if this is true. We're speculating a lot here, but in seeing what we have access to and trying to break it down, if he's really feeling a lack of intimacy in his relationship, Kim, and then she's out there making movies like Baby Girl, I could see that pissing him off. I could see it. Now, again, intimacy goes two ways, and he's got to step up to work that out, and maybe not go on his tour as much, or figure out ways to be together. Like, that's what happens in a marriage. You got to give and take and work it through. And so, look, it's just sad. There's two other kids involved in this situation. That's the only other thing I wanted to make sure we brought up. And now, like, the kids are being mentioned in the news as well, worrying that
I hope will stop. Leave the kids alone.
But the Cole's family's being ripped apart, and now the daughter's out there clubbing it up because of this. And I don't really want to weed in this because it's none of my business. She's 17 in New York, but the fact that this is true, if they're worried about the what could happen, why wouldn't you have made a joint statement? Why wouldn't you have gotten ahead of this and just done this amicably? The fact that they still haven't, and the fact that this leaked out with sources from Nicole, the fact that now there's even more and more, it's allegedly another woman, and this, and now she's heartbroken, and it's a lot of stuff. She's betrayed. This is now a lot of an onslaught today. Team Nicole coming at Keith. Will he stay calm and collected and peaceful and not attack back, or could this get more ugly? While the financials and custody seem to be sorted, the PR battle has just begun. So we shall see where this goes. But I hope, for the sake of the kids and for the family, if this is handled calmly. And if he did do something wrong, I hope he just kind of fesses up and we get over it and applaud her, and everybody gets to move on with their life as long as that takes. But that's where we stand in the latest updates. We got a lot more that we're going to talk about here in the live, and you missed a lot more details if you want to see it. The best way to do that is become a member over on our website. Go to popcornplanet.com, sign up today, watch the replays and all the other exclusive content. You can check it out there, and make sure you support It's Kim as well on YouTube. And if you're watching live or on the replay, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. Hit the bell for alerts so you get notified. Smash the thumbs up as well, and leave a comment down below. And let us know what your thoughts are, your theories are. Who do you think could be the bad guy? We asked our audience. I'm going to end with this poll here on the recap. 40% believe it's Keith's fault. 12% say it's Nicole's fault. 48%, the majority say nope, nobody's fault. This is just clearly a breakup.
Until we know more, it's a breakup, and ultimately it's a private matter, but they are two very famous people, and there's a lot of stuff coming out, and people are going to talk about it. So that's where we are, and I think, we want the best for everybody. We hope everybody's healthy and is okay, and that they can get through this. But judging by the pattern I'm seeing with this reporting, I have the feeling this is far from over.
We shall see.